The night I brought my newborn home from the hospital, I locked myself in the bathroom and cried silently while holding my baby. Not because she was crying, because my mother was standing outside the door telling me I was already ruining my child's life. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't afraid of being a bad parent. I was afraid of becoming her. If you've ever had someone in your life who made you feel small, especially someone who was supposed to love you, subscribe right now. Like the video and tell me in the comments, have you ever had to protect your peace from your own family? Because this story isn't about hatred, it's about freedom. Let's get into it. Growing up, I didn't think my childhood was abusive. There were no bruises, no screaming matches loud enough for neighbors to call the police. Instead, there was control. My mom had a way of making me doubt my own emotions. If I cried, I was dramatic. If I disagreed, I was disrespectful. If I asked for privacy, I was hiding something. I learned early that feelings were dangerous. I remember once, when I was about 14, I wrote in a message to my friend that I felt lonely at home. The next morning, my phone was on the kitchen table. My mom was sitting there waiting. She had gone through every message while I slept. She didn't yell. That would have been easier. Instead, she looked disappointed and said, "After everything I do for you, you tell people I'm a bad mother?" Then I was grounded for a month. Not for doing something wrong, for having feelings. And the scary part? I thought this was normal, because she was my mom. Kids don't question reality, they adapt to it. So I adapted. I became quiet, careful, always measuring my words, always walking on eggshells. Years later, I had my daughter. I expected motherhood to be exhausting. I did not expect it to be healing and horrifying at the same time. The first night home from the hospital, my baby wouldn't stop crying. I was sleep-deprived, sore, terrified I was doing everything wrong. My mom came over. For a moment, I felt relief. I thought, finally, I need my mother. Instead, she watched me struggle and said, "See, I told you you weren't ready." My chest tightened. Then she added, "You're already messing her up." Those words hit harder than any scream ever could. I went into the bathroom, closed the door, sat on the floor, and held my baby against my shoulder while she cried. And I cried too, but silently, because even as an adult, I didn't want my mom hearing me cry. Then a thought appeared, clear, sharp. I would never speak to my child the way she speaks to me. That was the moment everything changed. After that night, I started noticing everything, every comment, every criticism. She criticized how I fed my baby, how I held her, how often she slept. Then she started saying something that made my stomach drop. She needs me more than she needs you. She began taking photos and posting them online without asking. When I asked her to stop, she said, "You're robbing me of being a grandmother." Not, "I understand." Not, "I'm sorry." Just guilt. I realized something painful. She wasn't trying to help me become a mother. She was trying to replace me. I didn't introduce my baby to her immediately after birth because I needed time to feel stable first. To me, it was healing. To her, it was betrayal. She told relatives I was keeping her grandchild away out of spite. I started getting messages. "A mother only wants love. You'll regret this when she's gone." Then came the texts directly from her. "You're selfish. You're cruel. You've been brainwashed." My hands shook reading them. For years, guilt had always won. This time, something else did. Clarity. She wasn't upset because she missed me. She was upset because she lost control. So I did something I never thought I could do. I told her,
I need space until you respect my boundaries. She exploded. Insults, accusations, emotional threats, and then silence. We stopped speaking completely. No contact. The revenge wasn't yelling. It wasn't exposing her. It wasn't humiliating her. It was something she couldn't manipulate. I removed her access to me, and more importantly, to my child. The first week was the hardest. My phone felt heavy in my hand every night. I kept wanting to text her, not because things were fixed, because I was trained to fix them. I even downloaded an app that tracks days of no contact just to stop myself from reaching out. Each day felt like withdrawal. But something new started happening. My home became peaceful. No criticism, no anxiety before phone calls, no rehearsing conversations in my head. For the first time in my life, I wasn't managing my mother's emotions. I was living my own life. Months later, I noticed something beautiful. I never flinched when my daughter cried. I didn't shame her emotions. I held her, and I realized the cycle ended with me. My revenge wasn't pain, it was protection. She wanted control. I chose peace. And the person who benefited most was a child who would grow up never learning that love means fear. Sometimes the hardest truth is this: you can love someone and still not allow them access to your life. Boundaries aren't punishment, they're protection. And sometimes the bravest revenge is simply refusing to continue the story. If this story hit close to home, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below, would you go no contact with family to protect your child? Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone. And remember, peace is not selfish. Sometimes it's survival.